Well, hey guys, Long Haul Larry, and it's time to do some motor building. We're going to finish up this motor. We are going to button this thing up. We're getting ready to roll this thing out, put it underneath the cab up in the barn. We got that all painted. It's drying up there. And we're going to get the rest of this all put together, take it up there, and then drop this cab down on. I am going to get some help for that. I got the drunk carpenter coming. And we're going to drop this thing down on here and set this on here. Then I can bring it back in and do all the final hookups and then turn the key and away we go. Oh no, I just saw something. I have to do a little bit of backtracking, which is going to happen. And when you do something like this, you're going to forget something or do something or whatever. But I don't know if you guys remember when I was doing the drive line, I put together where those two drive shafts, they float in there and stuff. And there's like a groover on there where there's like a rubber piece that goes on there that seals it up so water and junk dirt don't get up inside there. And I was like, I don't know, it's missing. It's probably gone. Because they usually do. They'll break, they'll whatever, and they'll, get flung off of there, break in half or whatever. And I don't remember one. And I was actually digging around. I was actually cleaning some parts, digging around and stuff. And look what I found. So now I got to drop this drive shaft again to get this rubber put back on there. So I'm going to do that real quick. And then we are going to get started on this motor. That's the first thing I'll probably do. First thing will probably be to put my new low oil pressure pump. I got a new one. The guy sent me a brand new oil pressure pump, and it's supposed to be better. It's actually it's from a different company that he distributes. And he sent this one out. It's supposed to be a better one, and it's supposed to provide more oil pressure. So he sent me that one, and so we're going to install that on there, make sure everything is good with that. And then we're just going to start moving through the engine, doing things and everything. I have the parts enough to get this all completed, pieced back together, and so we're just going to start moving down this motor and everything. And there's probably going to be points, just like with this rubber thing, where I'll put something on and be like, oh, I got to put this on first. It happens. It's been a while since I took this thing apart. Remember the stages and everything. So I'm going to get working on. I'm going to drop the drive shaft. I'm going to do that quick before I even get started. All right, guys. Let's start with this. This is our new low oil pressure pump. We got it in the mail the other day, a couple days ago, from, guess who? Guess who? Jelly Belt. And I got stickers too. For full force diesel, quality Go Fast parts, Tennessee, or make diesel cheap again. I like that one. I got another one from them. Make diesel cheap again. Diesel is a byproduct. Why is it so expensive? Alrighty, let's get rid of this box. Actually, I'm gonna have to keep this box because I'm gonna ship the other one back to him. So this is a little bit different of a pump. It's a different manufacturer. This is from Melling. The guy, I talked to him and he's like, I'm gonna send you a Melling. And I was like, okay. And he goes, they're better. And they are a little bit different. I've already glanced at this. Yes. Oh, it's in there. Like, where'd the gasket, man? They're a little bit different. The stock ones have 14 teeth around here, and these are 10 tooth. And it says that, I was reading the instructions, that's why I looked at it, and this says I don't know Spanish. This pump has an inner rotor with 10 teeth as compared to the 14 teeth on the original pump. The rotor thickness has also been reduced. These changes to the pump allow it to provide an improved supply of oil to the engine. For installing the pump to the engine block, lubricate the gyrotor sets by dipping in the rotors in clean motor oil. Install the square cut O-ring in the pump housing. Install the pump over the dowel pins to the engine block, taking care not to damage the crankshaft seal. Install the pump, mounting bolts, and torque to 20 foot-pounds. There you go. There's the instructions. So before we get pulling apart here, let's check this one. See if there's a difference. Joseph. Nothing. Oh, there we go. Tight though. Tight to the pump. Won't go on either side of housing. 0.003. Nope. There it goes. Yep. Nope on the housing. So this one clears the gears, but it does not clear the housing. 0.003. So our gears are sitting lower than what our housing is. So this should work. Yay. All right. So we got our surface all cleaned up and everything else. I used some RTV on the outside of the pump housing the last time. Just put a little squirt of it around, this little tiny bit. The main reason why is because the old oil pump has been on here probably from when it was built. That O-ring that's been around here, there was some, where the O-ring sits, there's kind of a little bit of a deform there. And I don't want to sand that out because then I'll take away material. And you don't want to do that. So just clean it up the best you can and everything. And I'm just going to put a little bit of RTV around the outside of this pump too. Just to make sure that the O-ring seals, that in case it doesn't, in case there's a little spot or something like that, and a little bit of oil, you know, don't want to have a leak. So we're just going to do that. But first thing you're doing is we're dumping the gears in clean motor oil. And in this one, we don't have to put in a certain direction. So we're going to drop it on there. Wow. There it goes. That's tight. Oh, it's a tight fit there. We dip this one in oil. This is the outer, they call them gyrotors. And then this one fits over the top of it. And you have to be, they're machined so they fit perfectly in there. Okay. Now we have to go get our housing. Okay, we got to figure out where our alignment pins are going to be set up. It's going to be like that. And then we got to put the gear on the inside. I'm going to push up. There we go. Wiggle and jiggle. We're not going to paint this one until after we check it. Said 20 foot-pounds if I remember correctly. Why are we? For some reason I was doing an angle. There we go. Get that on there. Twenty. 20. 20. 20. Alrighty. I gotta clean all this icky oil off my engine. Can't have an icky oil on there. And then I'm gonna thread in the bolt. And we're gonna make sure this motor turns over. Yay! Awesome sauce. We have an engine that still turns over. Now we got to line our keyway up. There we go. And then I got to run my bolts in. Got to run my bolt in, and this bolt gets torqued down to 212 foot-pounds. I will put a clamp on the flywheel so that the engine can't turn over.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is horrible, so I took control. Garlic healthy cholesterol. Garlic helps me.
Alrighty, guys. We're gonna start with the valve covers. So you want to make sure to really prep these surfaces well. If you paint them like me, what I've done is I ran over with some 400 grit sandpaper on a metal piece of angle iron, so it's long and flat, and ran across it and everything. Make sure it's all even so it seals across, and then make sure to clean this surface up real good and everything else. We want these to seal. Now I got these. These are some gasket kits, and I got these from off of eBay. And they're a lot cheaper, a lot cheaper than when you get them from Ford. And I don't really see any reason why they will not work. The wiring and everything, it's the plugs and stuff. It seems to be all good and everything else. The big thing with these is that there's an O-ring that goes all the way around all of these bolts. There's an O-ring. And that's what was wrong with the other one, is that O-ring was actually missing in a section, so they stuck goobered all kinds of stuff, and then it rusted, and it just went out. That's why I had to buy the other cover on the other side. So we just want to inspect these, make sure everything's good. So they're gonna sit down there like that. There they go. Boy, those are really, they go in there tight. Connector should never come loose. That one went on nice. Let's see. I guess I could be plugging the injectors in while I'm doing this. Oh, we can start all of our bolts. When I was taking them off, and there was of certain things of bolts and how they were, the pattern that they were and everything. And there's two bolts up here that have threaded studs on top of them. Can't remember what bolts do it. I'll figure it out when I get that far. And then there's one over here. You can see what this one's for. And these get torqued to 8 foot-pounds, or 96 square inch pounds, or 8 inch pounds. Not much. And you can see what I'm doing. I'm working from the inside going out. Well, there we go, guys. We got both of them to put on there. These still gotta be painted black, but I can get at those later, so I'm gonna leave them until I get more. So I'm dirty up a paintbrush just for 2 nuts. But I got the oil breather on there. Got this side all taken care of. Got that side all taken care of. I have the nut for the dipstick just sitting loose because I'm gonna be putting in exhaust manifolds next. And I'll show you what I got going on there. Alright guys, we have brand new exhaust manifolds. for this truck. I did get these off of eBay, and they are from China. They're China. They got China written right on there. I don't know who this girl China is, but she seems to be pretty popular on those things. But I thought about different things and everything else, and yes, you could get stainless manifolds. My other manifolds, especially the one that bolt, every bolt was just completely packed. It was just stuck in there. It would be such a pain in the butt getting it all apart. Who knows if I'd crack one or something. So they were cheaper, so I just ordered them. But they come in, and I'm going to tell you, you got to do something to them. I mean, exhaust manifolds, you know, they're pretty much exhaust manifolds. And these are going to last a long, long time. You could get like stainless steel exhaust manifolds and stuff, but I mean, you're talking like, I think they were like $600 or $700. They were pretty crazy. You can get the ones probably straight from Ford or whatever. I didn't even check the price on because I know they're expensive. But these are just fine. These will work just fine. Here's the one problem with them, though, is the finish here. Listen. I don't know if you can see that finish or not, but they put them in, there's little grooves, there's cuts, probably from their machining or whatever, and they all have these little grooves all in them and stuff, and that's fine for like back in the 80s, 90s and stuff, but it's not going to work for now, and the reason why it's not going to work well is because they're going to not seal well. Now, with the kit, they give you these. These are exhaust manifolds they give you and everything. And what you do is you flip them over like that. And when you tighten them on there, this all smooshes in and it fills all those little grooves, these imperfections and everything. And that's what these do. And these right here, guys, let me tell you what to do with them. Do that. Throw them in the garbage. Get rid of them. I know Philpro, they make a gasket too and everything else. And it's supposed to be for little imperfections and everything else. But we want to make these so that they're nice and smooth. And so what I do is you can get cheaper ones like this. And then just take a flat bar and just attach sandpaper to it. And just sit here and just like you're just rolling here, I guess. You just go back and forth. Trying to put even pressure on it. Like a really thick piece of angle iron will work better. Make sure it's perfectly straight. You don't have to, we're not machining this down straight. What we're doing is we're taking it down evenly and we're taking off all these little grooves. And I've already done this one here and you can see this. This is smooth, see? See, there's no grooves left in it. And I just sanded down and I found it took about 2 pieces of sandpaper on this bar and it took all those grooves right out and now it's nice and smooth. And then what we're going to be doing is putting these gaskets on. Now, I would recommend that you go straight to Ford, and right there is the part number for this truck, and go straight to Ford. And I was wondering, I don't know. He said it was $34, and then when I went in and he ordered them, and then when I went and picked them up, there were $60-some. I think that was $34 a piece or something, but it says right in the package they come with 2. I don't know. Who knows how it goes, but 34, 64, whatever. But these have like a ring on them, and what's going to happen is when you tighten them down, there's like a raised portion that's all around here, and when you tighten them down, that's going to smoosh, and that's going to be your sealing surface. But you need to have a smooth surface, because if it's like rough like this, it's not going to seal. It's going to leak. So we want to get these all nice and smooth and everything else. And so I just been working on this. I did the other one. Took 2 pieces of sandpaper on here, and it was good to go. So I'm going to knock out this one. All right, guys. So we are ready to put this on. You just have to. One thing you got with these gaskets is there's a raised part on the inside and there's a raised part on the outside. The outside is bigger. The raised part on the inside is a little bit of a smaller circle. So the smaller is going to go towards the motor. Okay? So make sure you got these surfaces all cleaned up on the block and everything. You got these all sanded and all cleaned up on here. And there is a nipple on here. I'm not even sure what this goes to. Some kind of sensor. I don't know what it is. I mean, this thing has no EGR, no Cadillac or nothing like that. I don't know what it does. I'm unsure. But if you change your manifolds and you try to pull your old nipple out of your old manifold, it's going to break. There's no way that, I mean, they get welded in there. It's brass inside here. Basically, it just melts into it. But I was able to find one. I could not find one in any auto parts place. I ended up going to like a hardware store. And it's a 5/16 pipe thread with a 1/4 inch flare, male flare. And that's what screws in there. I have gotten these. And these are for the exhaust. And I actually got these off of eBay off a guy. He makes them. I think it's out in Massachusetts, I think it is. I believe so. Yeah, Massachusetts. Metric Screw and Tool Company. He put this whole story on there. Oh, buddy his did one of these and kept breaking them, and so he came up with the idea to make these or something. They're stainless steel, so they shouldn't rust. And I'm going to tell you right now, I should show you this. That other gasket that, because the other side, somebody had switched a manifold. I don't know if the manifold broke or what, but it had also these bolts, these exact bolts in there. So they probably ordered the same bolts. And he used the manifold, that gasket that came with it, and he put that in there. And I tell you what, when I pull the thing apart, it just crumbled and it just falls apart. And you don't want that. Don't put that thing in there. But anyways, with these bolts here, they come with a washer and they're all stainless and everything else. And I'm gonna get a few of them started here. Probably should use copper anti-seize on here. Regular anti-seize wouldn't work on exhaust bolts. It won't work. I have used all copper in the past, the copper anti-seize. I could swear I had some here, but I could not find it. I don't have it. And I've been to 3 places in town trying to find it, and nobody carries copper anti-seize. So, I mean, I don't know if it helps or not. I don't know if it burns off too, because I mean, it's for high heat, but I mean, these get hot. And the thing is, I've never put a manifold on a car and pulled it off again. It's always pulled it on there, and then, you know, by the time something goes on, and you just sell the car or whatever, you know. And so, I don't know if it does anything or not, but that's what you're supposed to use. So bigger down, we'll put a couple bolts in here just to hold it. It's gonna be a trick to get all this in there. All right. One. Two. Just get them loosely, just a few threads each. There we go. We got one exhaust manifold in, another one to go on the other side. So we shall keep on moving on. We got the exhaust all mounted in, everything's all torqued in, the exhaust manifolds are in. And I'm trying to think of where I'm gonna go next. But this is a piece that bolts to the turbo. And this is where the Y pipes attach to. The Y pipes are right here. And they will bolt on here. You see, I cut the bolts, but they go just like this. One goes over here, one goes over here, and then they bolt up to this adapter right here, and that's what goes to the turbo. I decided to go into a little bit different route because the Y pipes, they have a problem with the leaking on these trucks. They seem to leak once in a while and stuff, and they wear in and they start to leak. And it's a big pain in the butt to mess with these things in a truck because the cab is right here. Okay, I mean, this covers all this, so it's very tight, very hard to get to. It's hard to get to the turbo on this. The gasket that they use is this right here, and it's like a ceramic style gasket, and it's just a little donut like this, and it gets pinched into here, into this piece here, and it's got like a 45 into here, and it gets pinched into there. Well, the motor moving around, you know, and power and everything else, and wiggling and jiggling and stuff, this ceramic starts to wear a little bit. And the bolts, they will basically just lock into place. I was actually able to get these bolts out of this thing. I was surprised. I had to heat them and everything else. But I did get them out. But usually they just lock in there, and then they're not going to be, you can't really tighten them or loosen them or anything. And that ceramic kind of gets a little bit worn, and then it starts to leak around there. It's a known issue. So these 7.3s are very popular, and people have found out, you know, all the different little quirks and everything. And this is kind of an upgrade right here. A guy makes these. They're out of stainless steel. And I ordered me up a set. And it comes with the new adapter that goes up there. Basically what happens with these adapters, that one thing you have to look out for is right here in the center, this little center thing will actually wear out. It'll kind of get all worn and stuff. This one is fine. This one is in good shape. But these pipes are pretty old. They're pretty down here on the base, especially. They're rusted and everything else, and actually got some a little bit of worn spot over in the corner there. I could reuse these if I want to, but I'm not going to. I ordered this stainless kit, and this is going to go up here, and it's going to bolt onto here, and then it comes with this new adapter plate right here. And instead of having that 45 cut in there using that ceramic gasket, what it's going to do is sit against this deal that is flat. And in its place, it's just like what I was saying, don't use those cheap China exhaust manifold gaskets because they're going to leak. Well, they got those Ford compression ones that are made out of steel, and this kit comes with those too. And it has like a little raised deal around here. So as you tighten this down, this is what smushes down, and it provides that seal. And instead of having that 45 cut in here, they have this straight. So they've remanufactured this and everything else, and this will sit and connect onto the turbo. And that will do that. And then he also includes a whole new bolt kit for all the different connections and everything, because he knows when you take this apart, you're not going to be able to get these. And these are really nice, high quality, high grade metric bolts. These are motor bolts, and these are good quality bolts right here. So he provides all the bolts and everything else. The only thing I am going to do is take the shield off of here and connect it onto those, just to keep all the heat from going against the cab. That's what those are for. But the neat design on these is, instead of being a straight firm mount onto this adapter and having wiggling and power and all the jiggling stuff that wears out that gasket, these are actually welded onto here, and you can see it does a really good job, a nice TIG weld on there. And then these move. These can just give a little tiny bit back and forth, so it takes the vibration out of it, and that way the pipe doesn't sit there and wiggle and jiggle and everything, and wear out the gasket. This gives this a little bit of spring back and forth. I'm talking maybe a 1/16 of an inch back each way, so maybe an 1/8 inch total, if that, and all the way around. And so it gives it that deal so that it can actually connect onto it, and it can move and let the gasket stay sealed and not wear anything out. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to go next. Wiring, H-pop hoses. I'm not really sure. I got to figure it out. But I think we're going to call this night. And we got it this far and stuff, and I got to kind of mess around, and I've been up for a long day here, and I think that we're gonna let my mind do some sleep and see what goes on from there. I gotta mount in my fuel filter assembly that sits right here. And I know from the past from taking apart, getting that fuel filter assembly, because there's a big bracket that sits here with a couple relays, and the nuts go on there and stuff and holds it on. And I can remember that this was the biggest pain in the butt to get to these nuts with that fuel filter assembly sitting there. I don't know. I got to figure out which step is next and stuff. You guys got to remember, this is, I tore this thing apart in August. It's now January. I'm putting it back together. So, got to try to remember all this in the process of how it goes back together. I took it apart. So, there you guys go. So, we're getting some progress done on the motor, getting things pieced back together slowly. I have tomorrow and part of the next day, and I got to have this thing ready to drop the cab on it. I actually got the drunk carpenter coming out here, and he's going to be helping me, and we're going to be lowering the cab onto this thing. So I got to get it to that point. Otherwise, the next time he can't be here will be the next night, and I really want to get it put on there, because that's going to basically throw a whole day away from me. So I want to get this done. So I got a lot of work to do tomorrow and the next day to make sure this thing is ready, and we're just going to keep bolting things on there and figuring it all out, where it all goes and stuff. It's been a while, but I'll figure it out. Well, I hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night as they watch this here video, and if you're not, certainly just try that all over again tomorrow. I will catch you guys later. Bye.